This May, Kingstree, South Carolina becomes a place of remembrance and reflection. Join us for a powerful two-day commemoration marking the 60th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s 1966 call to march on ballot boxes. Together, we honor the past, examine the promise, and shape the future. Friday, May 8th and Saturday, May 9th, 2026. For more information, contact C. Williams Rush at 803-397-1859.
Yep. Make sure you contact Miss Rush. That is this Friday. It's going down, man. And it's going to be a very nice event. It's going to take place, like I said, this Friday, May 8th, 60 years to the day when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. came to Kingstree, South Carolina, and at his march on ballot boxes. And here we find ourselves again, election time. You got the situation going on with Congressman Clyburn. You got the situation going on down at South Carolina State. Because, I mean, and this is me now, I've said this before, that in South Carolina, politics and race are, you almost can't tell it apart, from my opinion. And so, yeah, I want to welcome everybody into Real Talk Tuesday. I was trying to download some stuff here. A lot of stuff I want to talk about tonight. I want to get the mayor's opinion. He's in there, over there. Let me get this here. Open up. A lot is going on, man. If you haven't been watching the news, there's a situation going on with South Carolina State University that I'll talk about on another broadcast with. It's big news. It's major news. And I know South Carolina State is near and dear to a lot of the people that listen to this podcast. And so definitely I want to keep you updated on what's going on with that. Also, something else I wanted to share with you guys. Oh, right here. This is concerning the event on Friday. The host of the event is going to be none other than Miss Ann McGill from Live 5 News. Your trusted voice, respected journalist. She'll be there. She's a proud native. And we look forward to her being there as a host. Again, this is taking place tomorrow, May 8th. Tomorrow. What is wrong with me? Friday, May 8th. That's when this is going to take place. Friday, May 8th. Okay. Also, man, I wanted to say that along with Ms. Ann McGill as the host, we're also going to have the pleasure of having Congressman Clyburn's going to be there also. So yeah, it'll be some who's who in the building. I keep saying tomorrow, on Friday. Okay. Guest of honor, James E. Clyburn. He was actually there in 1966 when Dr. Martin Luther King was there. And it's a blessing that he'll be there 60 years later celebrating the anniversary of that occasion that definitely changed Kingstree. And it's still shaping us right now. So let me bring up the mayor up here real fast. How you doing, sir?
Not too bad yourself.
I'm doing pretty good. Let me get Congressman Clyburn off the screen there.
He's better looking than me. Leave him up there.
All right, my camera's down too. I don't know what's going on here, but
Happening?
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't have my camera up. It's been. Hey, listen, today has been a day. I've been out in the field, so y'all forgive me. I'm not in my little button up and all that business. So today I was in the field and had to do some other things, and it just has been crazy. So it's a full moon, obviously, and
that's what it is.
yeah, it's a full moon, my friend. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's happening.
I didn't even check, and yeah, because my equipment here, I'm sitting here like, what is going? I'm glad this. I hope that full moon will be out of here by. Well, I ain't gonna have to deal with it that night, but yeah, wow, yeah, that's what's going on right here on this side. The technology is tripping, but
It has triggered everything. Murphy is all over everything right now. Murphy law is in effect. But we're gonna work through it. The day is almost over, and we're gonna pray for a better day tomorrow, man. But it has been a challenge.
so right into it. I got a chance to when I stopped through yesterday. I got my hands on that plan for 2046 for the town.
Are you referencing our comprehensive plan?
Comprehensive plan, and I've been taking my time going. I tell you what was funny today is it was in the van, and when I went and picked up Kaja, she grabbed it, right, and then she looked at it, and then she did what I did when I first looked at it. I thought it said 2026, and so I said, then I had to look back at it, and I'm like, well, how old you'll be, and she'll be 30 years old in 2046.
No.
So, yeah, so I said, I told
imagine
her,
that, huh? You're looking at her right now at a young age, where she's 10 or 11?
10.
10 years old.
Yeah. And I told her, I said, you're holding the future right now. I said, you can have a leg up on, you know what I mean? And so
she got an inside people on the on at least for this town and what we're looking for, and to where we'll be in 2045. Man,
yeah,
what was her take on
it? She didn't. She just kind of glanced over it or whatever.
She probably said, "Let me live in the moment. I'm playing softball. I'm doing well."
That's pretty much what it was right there. Like, hey, look. And
Yeah,
then what it was, she wanted to tell me about something that happened in her day. So it's just like, yeah, later for that. But yeah. So
but it's real. So if you look, I mean, for us, as we look out and try to envision how we want things to be, and we look at where we are right now, and then look in the rearview mirror from where we came back. I think some of the things we'll talk about today, and tonight, and you can just see how things are changing. Some of it is moving forward. A lot of it is pushing us back to the past. So then how are the kids at Kaja's age, a little bit older? What's in their mind?
yeah, I mean, given
where we're going, are we showing them a clear path to the future, or are they just seeing a lot of confusion and a lot of bad things, or so much division happening?
Well, and that's the thing. There's no stability. There's no stability. You know what I mean? There's generations of us that went through, and we all had the same principle. You know what I mean? Which means that principle was connected to the community. I'm of the opinion that the public school system is antithetical to things like that now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the direction of what the public school has been showing. You got to shake up in your community with two principals being moved. And I've been kind of checking the chatter on that. I got my opinions on why that happened and all that. But as I was just listening to Kaja today, I was thinking like, because I'm a radical. I guess I'm a radical because in my mind, right, that plan is the very thing that I would want to put into the dang kids' hands at Andrews. So somehow that should be worked into the curriculum.
We're talking the comprehensive plan.
The comprehensive plan, right? because I remember being going to town hall meetings, back when Giles was the mayor, and my whole thing was screaming, and Wilson can contest to this, that my thing was about the connection. There's no connection between the town and the school,
Mhm.
right? And it seems as if that was going on the right trajectory, and now all of a sudden it's just I don't know where that is now. And I think because that's going to be a big part of whether or not that comprehensive plan, you know what I mean, if it survives.
Yeah, and the thing is, well, and I will push back just a little bit on the notion that right now that the community and the school are kind of divided, because we've worked really hard right now. Now I've been here again. We're talking about 11 years. So to your point, it was, but we've worked pretty closely with with the high school, then the elementary school,
Oh,
and not as much as the
listen,
middle school.
I apologize because no, you have been.
Yeah,
I'm speaking of. I'm just kind of projecting of
yeah.
what, you know what I mean, because no, the relationship between there has been a complete 180. You know what I mean, a
Yeah.
complete change, a different direction with the school and the town. And my thing is, my opinion is that's being challenged right now. I don't think it can be threatened, but I think it's being challenged.
Well, and I'll tell you, over that time span, that the last decade, we've had this. This will be our fourth principal at Andrews High.
Come on, man.
Yeah, because of course Dr. Green was there for a long period of time.
What is the criteria? What do they want from what does a principal have to do? As first question, what is the criteria that they are? What is the standard that causing this?
Well, again, Dr. Green was there for a very long time,
Okay,
and I think followed her was Dr. Anderson, and that was certainly not as long, and I can't remember how many years. Um, and then Dr. Mahone came in, and I think it's only been 4 years, and so we're about to transition again. And I can only, as I reflect back, again, my previous career, I was there for 29 years. Pretty solid organization, being the United States Army, and systems and things were in place. And you see from unit to unit how things, in the leadership, how things change. But here, and when I'm talking about, when you start trying to measure success, or what it is that a leader in whether it's in this position or as a principal, how do we measure success? Because again, and all things that may go wrong, you're going to blame the mayor or the president or whomever, the person that's sitting at the top,
oh yeah,
the principal in this case. So, but then what are those other things? If you're fair about any assessing the value or what a leader's contributing, you have to have an understanding of all the things that they have to consider. I see a uniqueness between, you're separated from what I do and what a principal, not an educator, but you're talking about kids. So we look at the kids and said, okay, who influences their lives? Who controls, who developed them into a responsible kid, and then on an adult? How many entities are involved in that? Where it starts?
Mom and dad.
Okay, have we have that level been properly addressed or held accountable?
No.
All right, so let's then say theoretically, and not all, but then that is not addressed. Now you turn them over to the educators. So if you're not sending a disciplined kid and one that is ready to learn when they reach the school, then who now they're, for the next 8 hours or 7 to 3, whatever that is, then now who has them?
The streets.
The teachers inside the school.
Yeah, inside the school.
Okay. So now if we're measuring the performance of a student, their grades and those kind of things, is it the principal that's teaching them? No. Is it the principal that's raising them? No. So then those other things that play into that, is that a part of assessing how do we bring in the next one? So how are we going to measure this next person, or in any case, but we're talking about Andrews High School and Rosemary and the ones that are inside of Andrews. So what is the criteria? I mean, and then are we holding everybody that's in this kid's?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And
if we're not, so when you remove the principal, have you really fixed the problem?
I believe, and again, this is my conspiracy theory talking. They're getting what they want. They're getting the product. Otherwise, they would change it. Okay, because what. And I'm gonna say this in not such a nice way. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times the teachers don't have anything to work with. Okay, these kids come to school ill prepared for learning. They not properly rested at night. They come behind the curve. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then so now you put a teacher in there and you say, all right, well, teach this. Again, like you said, this child has discipline problems at the house. So the school with this ABC 1, 2, 3 mess is nothing. You know, because you can't curse the child, you can't respond to the child in the manner in which the child's been taught. In a lot of cases, I don't know every case, but the big problem in a lot of these schools is parent participation. Okay, not coming to games, not that kind of participation. I'm talking about real contact, weekly contact with the school, weekly, holding your child responsible. Okay, not whenever a lot of these kids now, and I'm getting up in like, well, in what the high school teachers or whatever deal with middle school. A lot of these kids have the mentality that my mama said, you ain't my mama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just that's poor parenting. And that's what and this whole, and I'm gonna wrap it right here. And this no child left behind thing, where if the child can get to a point where they just not disruptive in the class, they'll push them through the system. And then what's the result of that?
Right. So as we peel this onion back a little bit more, so then if I'm a teacher, in fairness to the teachers, if I'm getting a child that is not disciplined, doesn't have the discipline to come in and sit and listen and learn and do the best they can to be the best student, then am I going to spend all of my time with that child?
That's what protocol states. Mayor, this is why my child doesn't go to public school.
Right.
Because public school puts more emphasis on the bad kids. Instead of taking that kid, putting his ass out in the hall or calling his mama or daddy and having them come get him, the teacher, like you said, she's spending critical instruction time on discipline.
Mm-hmm. But I think it begs the question. I mean, it's still, are they going to do that, or just say, hey, you go see the principal, or go up to the front office, so they can spend their time, teaching the kids like that, they do their job.
Want to learn.
And so then now, right. So now that same undisciplined kid wants to play sports. You think the coach is going to have their undivided attention? Probably not. So what do we, do we just dismiss them and push them aside? It is a real problem. But I think the thing is, are we addressing all of those things that make this kid who he or she is? Or are we going to continue? Again, this will be number 4. And what, again, Dr. Green retired. But then that's not, and I don't, and again, we're not, this is happening across the way, I'm assuming. I just know what's happening right here within Mayo. So then are we really addressing the issue? And are we really passing kids on that have not met the standards?
Yes. A lot of these kids can't read. A lot of these kids walking across the stage can't read.
That's not good. That's the obvious. But and if you fight for that child, if you put your career on the line and fight for that child to keep them in the system, although they are off path, then what does that make you? That so. It is almost, again, when you're sitting at the tops and whatever your numbers are, those things that they measure, whatever, then you end up the only one that's being held accountable.
I mean, and it's, hey, would you say garbage in, garbage out?
It's a tough. I guess the same thing, in this position, but this is all like that. It's a different kind of animal, but. We can't, and the thing, the time keeps ticking. So you either that kid's going to either move up, or he's going to move out. And now, what do you have in your community? A person that does not know how to think and deal and be rational about things, and now they find themselves trying to survive,
sell dope, and get into the underworld of some things. There you go. And
we don't want to talk about the judicial system and that kind of business. And then here we go. I mean, like I told you a couple of weeks ago, I had the honor of talking to some 5th graders down at Andrews Elementary. And but right before me was DJJ. But what the school and the educators they were trying to teach the kids is that, the theme was the leader in me. How do I make the right decisions? How do I think through these things and all that plays into it, right? Which I think is a beautiful way. So kudos to Andrews Elementary leadership down there for doing that, because you have to start doing that there. Because if you're going to get those kids,
but what about that group that's running around terrorizing Andrews right now? What about that group?
Well, and again, it's not for we can't fix it. We being the government.
No, you can't legislate. You can't legislate it away.
You can't. And so again, but that's who we are, because of all these things that have failed the kid. If you don't, if I could put it that way, then that's what they become. If they don't have a direction, it's not in them, then they do end up in the system.
I put it another way. The parents have failed the kid. And a lot of these people are having these kids they don't have no damn business having. And then it's just to the streets. And then it's now, oh, help me with my child. I mean, how many of them kids, how many of that bunch out of that bunch that's running around terrorizing? Because we're not in a big city, okay?
No.
How many of that bunch has been steered toward the YMCA? So people are doing things in town. There are things in place.
Yeah.
To if you care about your child, that's just what it comes down to. If you care about your son, your black son, I did a report this morning. In the last 2 weeks, 5 black men have been killed over South Carolina over different areas. That's not counting the ones that were shot. Okay, and my thing is,
hey, I think you got someone wants. We got a guest that's trying to come on.
Okay, let me see where
educator.
Oh, she was. That was
Dr.
Monica.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, Doc. Come back in.
I forgot to tell you that we have actually an educator.
Yeah, you didn't see me looking like.
No, I didn't realize. Okay.
I'm like, I had to go check. Did I send the invitation? No, I figured it was somebody that.
Yeah.
He sent over.
I mean, because we'll get up here and we can be spouting off all kind of things. We're not educated, but we do know as parents, and we know as former students and people and still learning that you're going to have to apply yourself, and then you're going to have to be held responsible and accountable for.
Is it the principal's fault that Andrews, the Christian school? Listen, them folks are doing what they're supposed to be doing. You're gonna have as we move forward, as this gas keep getting more expensive, people are going to be making some selective decisions about their children's education, and where
that's
they
Dr. Monica Elkins.
Okay,
Columbia. I think it's District Richland County.
Yeah, tell her to pop back in there.
Yeah, just send a note.
Okay,
we're both Benedict alums.
No doubt.
Greatest HBCU in the universe.
Oh, listen, Bo, we got
another segue.
Man.
This is another segue.
Hey, but listen, and listen, I don't take no pleasure in this. I'm just because I remember now I told you I was called a coon, right? And my whole thing was I had people attacking me on that post. And I mean, and it's okay.
Are you talking about South Carolina State?
Yes, and it's okay. Well, I got attacked equally. Because I posted that Jermaine Johnson video on some groups where it was, predominantly PW or PWI. Some of those PWI groups that I'm in, they didn't like that. And I was like, hey, man, he talking about conservation.
No one wants to hear about conservation?
Not from that Negro there.
I'm going to have to read some of those. I thought we all were.
Nah, man, I love social media. I love it. It's free, but my point in that piece is that, because again, I'm a little closer to it than the guy that was in Michigan that decided to call me the coon. And here we sit today with a very, very, very serious situation. And what's going to happen is people still in their feelings, and they're going to be like, oh, well, they doing this, they doing that. We need to take a little closer look, and I'm going to have everybody take a little closer look at, well, we got a real problem here. Whenever the organization called the South Carolina State University Foundation is suing South Carolina State.
Yeah, put a pin in there. Let's wrap up the.
Gotcha.
I got to cut. Yeah, so then when we close out here on the school thing, but yeah, that's a big deal. I've been doing a little research. I've been doing a little Jamal. I'm researching and trying to figure things out because it's a big deal. But on Thursday, because this process is moving forward, I think on Thursday, and I have to look up the time. There's going to be a community. The district will hold a community forum, I think, and I don't, for lack of a better term,
in regards to
the hiring. When they go out and hire new principals, they'll have several different forums, and Thursday is the one for the Andrews High School and Rosemary principal's position, and that's going to be at Rosemary. Now it's going to be a little challenging. I'm not sure they looked at this thing, but we've got baseball playoffs. We got a bunch going on, and hopefully the attendance
in the past, historically speaking, has you've been a part of how many times you've been a part of this process?
I think all of the high school principals that I've talked about.
Okay.
The superintendent, I think I was part of that as well. When
what is the attendance of? And I'm not talking about the attendance of people who don't have kids in the school or anything. I'm not talking about the concerned citizen. I'm talking about the people who should be there, parents. What is that on a 100% scale? What percentage would you say you would see parents represented?
I will tell you when I think with Mr. Houston at the Rosemary, that was a very good turnout because we in the consideration was one of our local teachers, very popular, and so I think that brought out. So the place was pretty, we had good representation for that during that time last time. but not so sure how it's going because I think there's so much controversy surrounding these moves. It's not a lot of public clarity on how we got here, and it doesn't help that on the front end, on the back end, front, whatever of the situation. We had not so long ago had another major situation with the coach and
that brought race into it,
and so it all looks like it's
coordinated. It looks
a
like
lot,
it's
a lot, and it
I
it's just not it's not good. But things that happen, people, and I'm not, they're not pass any judgment on decision making at especially in an entity that I'm not even a part of, but just on the surface. And I'm getting phone calls, and I had to let them know I'm not on the inside. I don't know, and if I did, probably wouldn't be at liberty to share any of that. But it doesn't prevent the disruption. It doesn't prevent the tension, and people just coming to their own conclusions and responding as such.
Where there's no information, people gonna.
But in all fairness, too, you got to be careful on the HR piece. If there's any of the information is protected by privacy. I don't know. I'm bothered. I mean, deeply disturbed. I don't like the kind of attention. I don't. But more importantly, I don't. You see good people, have to carry the bag for everything, and I get it. When you're in leadership position, you're responsible for everything that happens or fail to happen. I get that. But when you work closely with people and you see the hard work that's in a very difficult situation, this didn't start 4 years ago.
No.
Okay. And if you look at, like I said, the only changes have been at the top. But if it's the kids, they're in the system from kindergarten up to they graduate. So if that is the problem, and all the things I just talked about, then guess what? It's going to be there when the next person comes. And that's if it's in your DNA, if it's inside your blood, it's going to have to figure out how do we clean this out so it won't continue to be a problem as the years pass. That's my thing. And so
I don't know.
Sometimes we don't want to deal with the core of issues because, again, especially in our business, we're dealing with people. The top is always going to be a target. If somebody's got to go, head's going to roll, and they're going to start at the top. You see it in sports. That team out here with all these millionaires not performing. You got all these coaches, in this case, teachers, everybody in here, but you're not pulling this together, and the coaches ain't. So I get
it. But man, there's so many layers to that though, because like what came up, Miss Hamill was saying, and I'm going back to the school board meeting, when she was saying how she was adamant about if a teacher doesn't like where she is, it's just not going to work. So, but
really?
Oh yeah, got to go back and watch it, because I'm saying to myself, like, okay, but you got a principal who appears to like where she is, and the numbers say that there's growth. You if you start with nothing and then you grow on a little something, it's like you want to give that time to grow. But like you said,
you look for positive trends. Again, you don't change this, like where I am. And that, because again, if these kids are not dealt with, then they become a problem at every level. Or when I say problem, I'm talking about if they're not getting the education and that's what you're measuring, that is what it is in terms of how you're rated in the state, then they're still contributors to that low bar. You know, man, it's just difficult. It's difficult. I know here, and again, this is a slow moving train. You're talking about the government, man. You're talking about turning things around. Anybody think they can come in if you don't have a whole ton of money coming on top and a whole lot of other things and everything working together? You're not going to make changes overnight. You're not going to make changes in 4 years. So anybody that's coming in this business here to say, I'm, whether you're a principal or a mayor, I'm going to change this thing in 4. No, not when you have, and a lot of the challenges are not visible. I mean, this is the first comprehensive plan that you mentioned earlier that we've had in
ever
decades. I don't have. We didn't have one to base on. So this is all from scratch. And when you already have a faulty infrastructure, then that's where you can't even think about 2045, or you couldn't even think about the next 3 years. You got to fix those problems now. So everything you get have to go to this. That's where we were, and this is over time. This has nothing to do with 2 or 3 mayors removed and all that kind of business. It's been happening over time. So when we start talking about coming in here and changing things, and you expect it's going to happen overnight, you're in for a rude awakening. So I would imagine then again some of the same thing. We're not talking about pipes and infrastructure. We're talking about kids. But if it's a bad kid or a bunch of bad kids or bad teachers or bad principal, it ain't going to go anywhere. But you got to find where do you address the issues throughout the system.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You got kids coming out of a poor school, having kids, putting them kids back into the poor school. It's culturally, and I'm talking community-wise, we're not, we're not holding our neighbor to an account. And it's probably safe that you don't, because that's where the root of this thing is happening at. Like, you can't. I don't know what the teachers to do. And I understand why teachers are moving to the private school system, because the metric is flawed. It's like, and the school system refuses to deal with what is happening on the ground. Like, as far as, well, let's be realistic about what these teachers are dealing with.
Oh, it's yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. Their job is tough, because I know, and it doesn't take much. It's a handful that has the ability to wreak havoc across the school, in the community. And unfortunately, yes, unfortunately, it's not getting any better. And so it will be interesting to see how things pan out. But again, we'll continue to work, man, and work with the schools, work with the district, and as best we can. Because when it boils down to it, it's not about me or what I think. It's really, it's about those kids, man. So.
But she hadn't popped back in yet.
No, she didn't. I haven't seen her respond to my. I don't know if she moved on, but she's certainly an expert, because she was actually she's been in the education system. She's been a board member with the school district in Richland County. I think she's still a board member, and she's no stranger to mixing it up. I'll tell you right now. And so again, she and I. She's I guess a couple of years ahead of me, and coming through Benedict, but a career educator at all levels. And I think she ran also for a position at state level and all that business. So a lot of experience, and hopefully we can get her back on, if not tonight, next week. But so then we transition to something you've been covering for a while now. That's national news. And again, higher education system. It's like we got the challenge we talked about here. Now we're talking about at the collegiate level. What have you discovered here?
That all right. So the essence of what this is about is that it's about donor money and about who's controlling the money, and so what's all right. So the lawsuit and I didn't.
Probably a lot of your listeners don't know where we're going here with this. This whole thing is behind or.
All right, so
University of South Carolina. Go ahead, tell the story.
All right, so the University of South Carolina State. You guys, everybody's been hearing about the situation with the lieutenant governor. Okay, well, this is serious. This is more serious than that for me, because this involves an organization, a nonprofit organization called the South Carolina State Foundation, South Carolina State University Foundation, and that organization works separate from the university in managing donations and managing donor intent. So, say for instance, you donated to Benedict and you had in mind that, hey, look, I want this to go to the baseball program. This would be the organization that kind of oversee and made sure that your donation went where you wanted to go and that kind of thing. Well, South Carolina State, the foundation has alleged that South Carolina State University has been pressuring them and for donations and donor records and different other information. Now, so the lawsuit alleges that they're being pressured, and South Carolina State's position is, hey, you're using our name, our likeness, you're raising money, on behalf of these students. We need oversight. We need to be able to have some say over what happens with this money. You know what I mean? Now, a lawsuit is it's just an allegation. Okay, one side saying, hey, look, we think this, judge, come in here and help us figure this out. I'm not saying either side is right or either side is wrong, but when the organization that was created to raise money for this school is suing the school, this is more than just a little paperwork mishandling, in my opinion. And so, yeah, it's a big major story. This is aside from this has nothing to me. You know how I felt about the whole
but it's interesting. So this hit today.
Oh, the timing is.
So people look for opportunities to pile on, right, wrong, or indifferent. So we backed this up to, I don't know, a week or so ago, whenever it was. Again, for the listeners who are not tracking, because believe it or not, a lot of folks not tracking what's happening. Bottom line is, the Lieutenant Governor, Pam Everett, was invited back in December of 2025 to be the speaker at the 2026 commencement ceremony, South Carolina State's graduation. And for some reason, again, the invitation was December. Here it is, we're in May, where we're talking 5-6 months later. It seemed like it just got dropped on, it came out of, I don't know, the student body.
Mm-hmm.
Well, students pushed back. They protest that, and then the decision was made to rescind the invitation for her to speak. And of course, we're talking about the Lieutenant Governor for the state of South Carolina, where a lot of the state, I don't know how much it is, but South Carolina State is a state-funded school, at least a portion of it. I don't know I'm not going to claim that they can survive without what they get. I don't know. But it sparked a lot of political conversation. So now there's 9 legislators that has come forward and said, they want to defund the state.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as my, up to this point, my research is that nothing has happened. It's just a lot of vocal.
Yeah, it's
Ways and Means committee. None of that. The governor hasn't really spoken unless he said something today.
He said something today, but it was middle of the road.
Yeah, and because it's a politically charged situation.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, one of the oldest you know, person in Congress is, Congressman Clyburn. He is a South Carolina State graduate. So I'm sure behind, I haven't heard anything from him, but I'm sure behind the scene.
Yeah, he released a statement also too.
He did that today. Okay. So
yesterday.
I think yesterday, I haven't seen it yet. So a lot is going on. The lieutenant governor says, hey, hey, look, I support defunding. She referenced the students who, again, it was peaceful and so they did it right. The students, they voiced their opinion or their concerns, right, wrong, or indifferent, in terms of bringing the matter to the leadership of the university. But they were referred to as a woke mob from the lieutenant governor. I'm not sure I would have, handled it that way, but it is what it is. That's a pretty, inflammatory description of people, and it's gonna cause some, cause people to respond. And so here it is now. We're talking about not funding. Is it legal? Yes, they can if it gets the momentum and cut the funds. I mean, look what they've done to Harvard, other places that have not been in compliance or whatever. The federal, this administration say, hey, look, if you're still supporting any DEI, if you want to make this equal for everybody to have an opportunity to get in here and do that, which is the way the Constitution was written, then we're not going to fund it. We're pulling all our funds, and it doesn't happen in many cases. How far this will go, I'm not sure. And as you kind of watch these candidates that are running for, all the candidates to become the, next governor, it's kind of hush hush. Alan Wilson hadn't said anything. And again, the governor has, made whatever remarks he said today. So it's interesting. I don't know how far it's going to go, but it has sparked conversations around all the coolers, coffee pots, sidebars. Some saying this, discrimination. And I think that's how these 9 lawmakers are trying to. And then you get into the freedom of speech. And all that stuff now has to come into play, or will, unless I don't foresee it quieting down much, because again, when you're running for office, that may have been the thing that kind of sparked. Because right now, I think in the polls, Allen is leading, in the primaries. So how much of this is going to be pushed from the lieutenant governor's desk is yet to be seen. But it's an ugly situation right now, and so then this organization you just talked about, which is I guess these are alumni from the university. I'm assuming
it's in-house fighting.
In-house fighting.
Yeah.
So now I'd be interested who's behind that. Let's come forward. Let's see what your affiliation is. Let's see what political ties.
Well, and so my early assessment of just kind of what I'm hearing and what I think I'm seeing and what I thought I saw earlier is and some of that key language in that lawsuit is about donor intent. Okay, and I remember a early interview that came out with Gant,
yeah.
And Gant was basically saying, "Look, hey, I needed $5 million, and you know what I mean." Because
what case is this?
South Carolina State.
Gant,
he's the chairman.
Okay.
Yeah, and named in the lawsuit is the president, Conyers. What's his name? Alexander Conyers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Gant, first name.
He's one of the. He's a trustee.
He's a chairman. He's the chairman of the board.
Okay.
Yeah, but those two are named in the lawsuit with South Carolina State. So I think that this falls right into what's the name's lap, Everett and all of them. I think their goal now is going to be to shift it from the race thing to like, man, look, they can't even manage their own money. Look at them. And again, it's going to be interesting to see who in that, like you said, political affiliations or whatever, because somebody made a calculated move, and I think it blew up in their face. That's just my, again, I don't know. I'm gonna follow this one. Like I'll probably be sitting in the courtroom on this on this one, right? Because this is for me. This speaks to the institutional problem with Black education in South Carolina, Black youth education in South Carolina, because I think
unpack that for me.
I think all of this is all connected, okay? Mm-hmm. Because if we're getting bad students, not bad students, that's not a good word, but if we're getting students that are not prepared for education, if these students aren't sent to school equipped with the building blocks, whatever they need, the foundation to get them going along, I think that's why, and I think it's, and I'm speaking primarily about the Black community. I think that's why the numbers translate the way they do to college, because our kids start out behind in school and it's a catch-up game. And then when they get into college, a lot of them are way over their heads. This is why you get a 16% graduation rate after 4 years at state. And again, I think it's just and you look back at as far, I mean, you don't even have to look back that far. You can look back at 1999 and state was graduating 54% of its students after 4 years. So what has changed to, you know what I mean? Like in the education. And I think it's just the urgency and the breakdown of the family. That's just, and it's hurting. That's if I help try to unpack that, but I think that there's a connection there from them kids coming to the school unprepared all the way to, some of them being pushed to college and not having no business even being in college. They should be going to technical school, and I'm supposed to look up the numbers on that.
Yeah, and again, all of this has made me more interested in to see what it is, what's going on, just for my edification. And then, but we all of us in these kids' lives at every entity have to step back and take a look and how can I help make a difference. But I can't help if I'm not invited to talk to your child, or it's going to, or no one else has the authority to correct them. So if all of those walls are up and teachers, principals, law enforcement, all those folks are kind of like, hey, we can't say anything to this child, but they're doing wrong. We can't say anything to them, and because you're going to get some backlash from the parents. That's not helpful. So when you do that, because I don't care how you shake it up, it still takes a village. Yeah. And that's the community of everybody in it has a responsibility for the safeguard, the protection, and kind of the direction the kid go. We talk about it often when we get on the subject and how we see another adult, we can't do things that we're thinking, I'm going to go over here and be mischievous. No, because that adult has, can check us on the spot and call our parents, and then they deal with us when we get home. That was so important, so valuable in the rearing of a child. You just didn't have an opportunity now to make your own decisions and then be, and there's no consequences. That's gone. I mean, you can ask any educator in there how many times a parent show up and is raising holy hell and haven't even asked what my, what has this kid done? First is to attack the educator, and that's not helpful, or attack the law enforcement. We gotta, there's nowhere around it.
And that's just
Sabrina, I agree. What's Miss Kathy was on earlier, wasn't she? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But and You just can't. I mean, and look at the laws. So the laws now, again, a part of that village thing and all that authority, and we were kind of scared straight. There she is. Um, we we didn't get those breaks, man. And it's not breaks. We didn't get the opportunity to make our own decisions. We were children. That's what these kids are. We're talking about the age range, the age bracket that we're dealing with right now. We're talking about anywhere from 10 to 15, wreaking havoc. So now, if the judicial system or the system out here that says that you can't do X, Y, Z because that's abuse, so the parents who want to, add a little extra to it to get their attention, you can't do it because then now you have to defend that when these folks from that department and DSS shows up.
Hey,
so that can't hold them responsible. What do you do?
And it's the ashamed, it's the offended by everything crowd and ashamed of nothing, because a lot of these little bastards in the street that's running around acting crazy, just go to their parents' social media page, and there's a direct correlation between that child's behavior and that person's thread.
And then we're dealing with all of the access to because so Kathy is a her I think it's the after school, not the after school program, in school suspension.
Ah, man, my
she
crowd
should be on here talking to us.
Yeah, my crowd.
Yeah. So again, you can get a flavor of, and all these kids coming through is the same one over and over again. So if you start to see that pattern, you're going to have a different solution.
And I'll tell you, speaking of Miss Kathy, the thing is, that was inspiring about when we went up there to Seneca, is the kids that were in that church. They had a lot of kids in that church, and that's the main thing. A lot of these kids are, I'm saying bastards. I should be saying these little demons, because that's how they're being raised. and so that's a big part, of a lot of these pastors too busy trying to fleece the mamas instead of trying to raise the flock. That's just my opinion.
Hey, that's a key entity in the community. So it's all of that has to come together. But a parent got to know this. The bottom line is, if there's no church involved or no school or no government, it's still your responsibility.
Yeah,
that's it. There's no way around
it. And I don't care how much money they keep throwing at the problem. They can park. Listen, $1 billion does not make that child go to sleep a proper time for her to get up in the morning to be functioning in them people's classroom.
Yeah.
$1 billion don't do it. It's just, stop having these kids that you don't want to take care of. Somebody need to tell you that, and I'll tell you that right here on the podcast right here tonight, because they're a problem. You know what I mean? And again, the school just catering to them. And Miss Kathy, I tell you what, if I was in charge, you wouldn't have a job. You have a job carrying them little bastards home. Won't be no ISS. You don't know how to act. Go home with your mama.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a problem, man. And you look at the it's certainly accountability, but none of that is really. And again, who carries the blunt of all that when it doesn't? It's the person sitting at the top.
Yep.
Is it fair? Is life fair? It's just it bothers me, man. I'm set. It bothers me. But we're gonna move on, and whoever's next up, we're gonna team up, and we're gonna get it done. As far as where we sit here, because again, at the end of the day, man, it's still about giving these kids their best opportunity for something bigger and better.
Yeah, I just hope the next group come in and they understand, and or they are open to listen and don't get contaminated by, hey, don't deal with this person or don't deal with that person. Come in with an open mind and just kind of.
And if you look in that, we opened this segment here talking about the comprehensive plan, and if you look in there in the information that is tied to the school, that's Dr. Mahone working with the government and all of these other people who were involved in the Black River and saw this opportunity here. Because right now, like we don't have for these career classes or career curriculum, they have to go to Georgetown for. We don't have it here. So a part of that development of this comprehensive plan and how we tie into the community, the school, and that kind of business was a lot came from her idea on what the school needs here. And so we've got that built into this 2045 plan. The folks at that's with OSI, they know her and the team that she brought down to be a part of that think tank to develop these concepts were right there. So again, whoever follows, you got to, preferably they will jump in and kind of take this plan and continue to develop this thing because it is a great opportunity. So as this Black River, all that unfolds, you're going to see, like right now, there's 3 kids that's graduating from Andrews High here in the next couple of weeks. That's going to graduate also with an associate's.
But it must be for principals. I guess I don't know. It must be now. It's like being in the damn military. Like, you know what I mean? You are principals looking to be in a community where they retire. You know what I mean? Like one school, does that even happen anymore? Is that like?
Well, back in the day, it did. I think when you look at those positions, and well, in this case, I think she may. I think both of these principals that are leaving, probably the first ones that are not from the community, I believe, maybe.
So and I want to know
county or whatever case may be, not locals.
One of the questions I would have to ask, okay, if the situation is what it is, what is it that this other person is going to bring to the situation that's going to be different? You know what I mean? I'd be interested to hear that answer. If you're working with the same equipment, not saying that you can't get different results, but let me articulate that for me so I can, because of course the person will say, of course, yes, I can do it, and then 2 years, 3 years later, 4 years later down the road, we're doing the same thing.
But do it. What is it? Because if your support element are not rowing in the same direction, see all of these positions, even wherever we sit here, there, it could be your legs can be cut from under you.
Yeah.
If and I don't know, but we got to look at all the things again that plays into bringing an organization like that together for the good of of the student. There's a lot of players in there. There's a lot of players where I am. I mean, I can have somebody out there that's sabotaging, doing things that's crazy, and then keeping things up, going in the community, and that's going to have an impact.
Well, the school board has proven that they don't know what they're doing in selecting. I mean, even in their process, even with this, because you don't get they're not getting a true sense of what the school needs because they're not getting a true at these little forms that they have that because the turnout is not what it should be, and so they've been getting the same result apparently. Looking at the scores again now. My home scores have trended upward, but I don't know, man. It's just my little smooth brain just can't handle these complex.
Hey, yeah, we pray for all involved, man. Pray for our community. It's been a tough few days all around. Not. I mean, look at nationally. That's just as impactful down here in keeping the tension up. I mean, come on. So what is that? Is this Final Destination?
I don't know, because I and listen, I'm sorry, and I'm going to make it worse with this question right here.
Yeah.
Is there a homecoming date yet?
Not to my knowledge.
Wow. So
I've gotten a few calls on that, but we don't control that part. We've set our date for the thing, and again, I don't know, man.
the community, the town, like this is not, I mean, we talking. This is heads in beds. This is ATAX, you know what I mean, dollars. This is commerce. This is, you know what I mean, a big thing. This is not something that this is something that's tied to the community. Seems like you should want to care about the community. Seems like the board should care about the community that elected them. And if there's something that is positive for the community, then it's just seems like it's just it seems like a layup to me.
Hey, again, we all have our opinions. We're not on the inside. Remove the emotional, but it's difficult because I love people. I don't want to see people fail. I don't want to see the community. I don't want to see the kids fail. And so, what I thought or have witnessed may not be enough to say, that things should have continued. I don't know.
And Mayor, I've learned enough. That the statement that I was going to make, I'm not going to make it. No, see, you're here as the mayor, and they'll come after. They'll try to come after me. They'll use this platform and take advantage of. So I'm gonna punt on that one.
I see a comment here, Ms. Kathy made. She says, in order to make true change, you have to track from kindergarten. I believe that. I think that's true. Is there a link? I think that's true. Now, how do you shape that, and how do you kind of keep the kids on track, or that they're not doing well in a certain subject? I don't know how that's done, but
it's gonna take some extreme measures in my point. I remember seeing a thing that they did in Atlanta or DC where they was tracking these kids like that through, and so because given the cultural influences and all that, you almost got to raise these kids in a bubble in order to get, you know what I mean? Like, all right, we're raising you for the purpose of rebuilding the town, and for that purpose, you won't even know what Bike Week is or whatever. It's got to be almost to that level, man. Got to program and got to brainwash them because.
But the things that are we can't stop. Like in this case, these events we have laid out and all these other things, you may have some turbulence in this area, but we got to continue to move forward. So when we got the disruption that's going on there, then the disrupting the event, then now we're kind of sitting stagnant. So I said, let's go ahead and put this thing on board. Let's go ahead and continue to move forward. Leaders have to, make the decisions that they feel is necessary in their respective organizations. But we have to minimize the ripple effect, second and third order effects of those things. And when your community, if one of the links are broken, you can't just let it fall. You're going to have to mend and keep going forward, man. That's what it's all about. So, yeah. So what are we doing on the national level?
Man, that's like they have gas $4.19, brother. Lord, listen, man, I'm on a move only when necessary order right now. Like,
hey, it's difficult. I sent you something today because I was out in Myrtle Beach, and but what's interesting though, what you brought to my attention, that there's about a 40 cents difference, and it may not be now because you said things are they didn't close that gap.
Where y'all at? Where y'all tapping on that right now?
We're well over $4. I think it was $4.19. Yeah, Myrtle Beach today was it's $4.19 in Myrtle Beach. I think ours was higher here. For my little Beetlejuice card, that's with premium, that's over $5. Hey, in all honesty, I went to Walmart last night and got an air pump for my bike. So if you see me out there riding a bike, man, and in a sports jacket and just no making adjustments, man, it's tough. And you think about the people that, again, when you look at small communities like our town here, and you know, a lot of folks on fixed income, so it's $4.29 in Seneca. This is tough, and you'd have to ask yourself, man, it really is this what you asked for? I would say no, but
that's the part of politics that I hate, right? Because you got a lot that won't admit, right? Because that same sticker right there, they got Trump saying I did it. They had that with Biden, right?
Yeah.
And just like when the gas is high with him, you got people that be like, well, whatever. You got some of these dumbass Republicans right now that's just, you know what I mean? They won't admit that, like, well, you know, we got a war on terror. War on terror, the war on terror is in your wallet right now. That's it. That's the war on terror. The damn gas pump is a terrorist.
He said that's where we need to sit nice.
That's what we need to sit nice. You know what I mean? Hey, and happy Cinco de Mayo for all the Mexicans that's still here.
Mm-hmm. It's rough, man. And again, you know, just from a military perspective, that is a very difficult task that we're embarking upon right now, dealing with that terrain, the effects, and these people that we made them feel and encourage, you know, gave them courage that, hey, you can control this, you can affect the economy across the entire world.
They did. That's what they did. That's what they did.
We woke these jokers up, and we have no real solution right now.
They fake said. Remember they put that report that they hit them two Navy ships. It was all BS, but it sent the markets in free fall.
Yeah, and you can't continue. Oh my God, that's Cynthia. Cynthia says is 4 something down in big city, 419 in the big city. That is not a city. Patrick is not a city.
Patrick is a thought. It's like, oh, I thought I went through. It's an afterthought.
Hey, but again, everybody, I don't care, small or large,
black, white, Republican,
it don't matter.
Hurt. I see some of the people driving big gas guzzlers up to the tank. Like I said, terrorists, just scared to get up the car.
And you can sit idle and don't say anything whether it's going to change anything or not. You hurt, and it's like somebody punch you and you just stay there, take it. Nah, it hurts. These gas prices are hurting everybody. And not just that. Diesel, I'm starting to drink tea now. I don't drink coffee anymore. It's too high.
Yeah, that diesel's
crazy.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, because if it's costing more to bring it to you, it's gonna cost more to thing. And I'm gonna keep it real. I'm relying on Amazon more right now, because and when you're talking about chemicals, the chemicals that I can get, which I can buy from this one place through a license, but like the guys in Colombia, I'm gonna go see them tomorrow. I got some things I need to pick up tomorrow, and they're good people, and I like doing business with them or whatever. But the cost of freight, you know what I mean? What it's costing them to stay in business, and that's coming down on me, where it's just like
it's all
shit
You
rolls
know,
downhill.
yeah. One thing we didn't touch on is all politics. Now this whole redistricting thing. So voters' right of 1965 is changing as we
And
speak.
I mean, look at this,
Right, wrong, or
man.
indifferent. Huh?
Right on time. He'll be speaking this Friday at the commemoration of the 60th anniversary when Martin Luther King came to King Street, South Carolina, May 8th, 1966. And here we are right now, and he's basically facing being wiped out.
Yeah, because he has the only district in South Carolina that is a minority majority,
Mhm.
and the whole purpose behind that is kind of is to ensure that it gives people to have representation of um, of your community. Now that's it was argued in the Supreme Court decided that's based on race, and you can't, and that's not okay. So then that's now, I think it's Section 2 of Voters' Right Act of 1965. And so all that's now, and so now you have states and people having this conversation about, now we're going to pause the primary, let's redraw the maps, and so then that will oh man, you on it, huh? Yeah. So how district lines shape power, and yeah, we've known it. I don't think gerrymandering is now relevant.
No.
Because again, it was designed that you will make to draw these lines that these communities that may be majority, minority, and that kind of business, that they have someone from their community that's representing them at that level. That is now pretty much gone. And I think what it's going to have an effect too on, we talked last week on this this order that the county is under.
Yeah, and I mean,
on that.
But these are the consequences of political inactivity. So yeah, that's just.
And I'm gonna encourage folks, check your voters registration. You and I both know a young lady who's been voting since she's been 18. She's 35. Went in the other day, and there was no record of her voters registration. She's since gotten fixed, but check your stuff. The early voting in the primary is 26, starting on the 26th of this month. Get your stuff in order. And I think by in a couple of days, if you're not registered by the 9th of May, if I'm not mistaken,
you won't be able to
vote in the primary, which is June 9th. So it's about 5.48 million. And so I haven't seen those numbers before. So give yourself a chance, man. Get out here and get registered. Regardless of where you vote, you see what's what. If you want it to be different, you're going to have to be a part of the effort, regardless of where you are, where you fall in these districts.
Yeah, and if you one of the ones who the belief that, oh man, my vote don't count, you might be right when you talk about the electoral college. I ain't gonna argue with that. That's
another rig.
But when you talk about state and local elections, that's vote for vote. Your vote does count. Okay.
Yeah, I met a young man who was former mayor. I can't remember the town, but I met him. He didn't introduce himself with his the name his mother gave him. His name was Landslide. He won by one vote. One vote.
Yeah,
we all call him Landslide. I think it's Greg. Yeah, we call him Landslide, but he won by one vote. So yes, to your point, your vote matters. Get out there, do what you're supposed to do. So then when you get up here arguing on this social media about things when you don't like
there you go. Drop the question on them.
You can do it with a clear conscience that you try to make a difference through your voting. And if you didn't vote, then you're just going to have to shut up and color. This government economics is not being taught in school anymore. The young kids are going off misunderstanding. I don't disagree.
And so there you go. Private school teach them yourself. Get you some church schools, some community schools. The government's not going to do it. Like, I don't know how much longer we got to go get kicking our ass to realize, hey, they just not going to do it. And so for me, I think if you're under the impression that the school is responsible for your child's education, you've lost already. I just think that's too big of a something to just leave to somebody else. Like, all right, y'all figure it out. Help me out with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So again, maybe the gas prices cause us to slow down and think through a lot of things that that we've kind of waived and made assumption that it's going to work itself out. And
nah, that
take
is
advantage of it.
He's not turning around. That war in Lebanon is Israel's a bloodthirsty country, and they got a fool for a partner, or some punks for a partner. I mean, you know what I mean? Because somebody should be saying, "Nah, bro, this ain't ours." But that's not what's happened. Homeschooled my oldest, and it was such a big difference because you care, Sabrina. That's why.
Yeah.
You give a damn. Okay, that's it. You saw what was going on. You was like Joe Biden. You said, "I'm not letting my child go into the racial jungle." No, you didn't say that.
Who did you just quote? You said it was Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. Back when he was keeping it real.
Yeah, I don't think that would be I don't think I can do the homeschooling thing, man. That's tough. But kudos to all the parents. My niece, nephews are they all being homeschooled, that kind of business. They're doing well, extremely well. But I wouldn't trust my kids me teaching them because my mind would be everywhere else.
That's how my daughter ended up at private school. When they started this foolishness with COVID, and again, that's something that hasn't been factored in, right? Because kids suffered through COVID, and that was my daughter's going to be her first year going into school, and it was my responsibility to sit there with the computer with her and teach her. Now, she would have been the #1 bug expert in South Carolina at age 10 right now. Mm-hmm. All that onomatopoeia and probably all that, none of that.
No.
And so yeah, man, made a decision, went over to the school. Now, understand, I'm not from here. We're not from here. And you couldn't get no reliable information from people, you better go over there with them white people, you know what I mean? The school was, man, don't you go over there. I went right over there, and Miss Dempsey and Miss Gleaton, man, listen, and I'll fight somebody for that school right now, because what I realized is that, it wasn't about, what a lot of people think. Hell, the sheriff kids go there. The sheriff of Orangeburg County, his kids go there. So I think if his kids can go there, mine can go there too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I was looking at the yearbook day before yesterday. A lot of parents, a lot of Black parents are not playing around, because Orangeburg County schools is just ooh.
Yeah. I'm a product of a public school, but I had some parents, and it worked. I mean, it's a lot of it worked. But again, it was, the difference was we had a lot of people that cared about.
Exactly. Your parents wasn't the only parents that cared.
No, a lot of people cared about it.
There you go.
You talk to, Mr. Sampson Hughes, love that man. Mr. Thompson, all those guys that were principals. That were principals. Mr. Rao. See, back then.
Yeah, Mr. Weber Rao. Oh yeah, that white man could beat your ass. You act up in.
Because you didn't want to go see Mr. Rao.
Okay.
Miss Strickland, Miss
Mr.
Green,
Odom.
Mr. Odom, Miss Hennessy. They don't make them like that.
See, that's what integration did. That's
You
why
know,
we shouldn't have never integrated the school. Here we are with my
but
racist
the
talk.
names I'm calling, that was even after integration. I mean, these
Yeah,
people, they cared.
but that's kind of what made that get out of that. You know what I mean? Made that kind of push that out of the school because hey, you're not gonna be hitting my kid, or you're not gonna be doing this to my kid.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I mean, from kindergarten on up to 8th grade, I was at Rose. That's before the integration. I didn't even know we were in, the schools were segregated. To be honest with you, I was just getting at it.
That's cool.
But you got to go there, get your education. There's no question about it. Call your mom. That's all you had to say. I'm gonna call your mom, and that whatever I was doing, you tighten up. And then I came to Andrews. In Andrews High, we got over here. We still had, and again, we're integrated. My experience was great. The teachers I have, I'm still talking to them now. When we just had the Hall of Fame thing there, we, Coach Al Lewis was there. I mean, like relatives. Miss Dorsey, my 6th grade math, like family. It is a bond that never has been broken because these were people that genuinely cared. These are the teachers. They wouldn't allow you to fail. They didn't give up. Teachers didn't give up. Principals didn't give up. Like I said, that one time I had to go see Mr. Rao. That didn't happen again.
Those teachers didn't have these crazy things, you know what I mean, hanging over their head. And the school system was for the teachers, because you and your parent couldn't come there with that foolishness. We didn't have them incidents like that.
And here's another thing, and they may not think this is important, but I guarantee you, when anybody that visited the schools came in there, you know off the cuff, whether they had gray hairs or not, who a teacher was or an educator was and a student. You couldn't confuse them because they were wearing the same gear. That's huge to me.
Yep.
If you are a mentor, you are someone that they're looking up to because you're an adult and you're in the system. So if they look at you and don't see any difference when they look in the mirror, then what are we doing? Making friends, or we're trying to make, leaders?
Not.
So all of that stuff plays into it, man. You just can't. You can't come down to a kid's level and expect them to elevate. It doesn't work like that. So again, everybody you can't joke with them and line dance with them in school and say you're educating them.
And that's because it's got to be a line.
You got to have a line. They got to see what right looks like when they're looking at you and they're assessing you. And they're trying to figure you out, because if they can get over on you, I mean, it was like privates when we brought them in. If that drill sergeant or we act a certain way, then
looking for weakness.
We just set a new standard.
Yep.
All that plays into it. I know we're here on school tonight. I mean, because it's important, man. We can't get this wrong. We can't keep getting it wrong. We just can't. We're going to lose too many of them. And again, and I'm telling you, it's not a black issue only. It's children. Because if we're leaving a group of kids over here to die, that the kids you paying attention to, they see that. So what are you teaching them? That these kids don't matter? All of that stuff that you're doing, if you think you're getting away with it, or if you're trying to cut the legs from under somebody else, these kids see that. These are bright kids, man. We just got to we got to train their minds. And so, yeah, it hurts. It hurts, man, when I see this kind of craziness going on. So, prayer, keep praying, keep hoping, and maybe we'll have a breakthrough. So, Appreciate all the folks in there. I think they all in here harassing us.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to I went live late on Instagram. I gonna start going live more on Instagram. People was like, man, you need to go live on Instagram. I'm gonna go live on Instagram a little more. So y'all look out for that. Also, man, I should have said this earlier. I launched a new website today. I didn't say it because I've been working. I've been in and out of it, turning it on, turning it off. But I would like you guys to go and visit my website. It's
all right.
It's one of two websites that I'm building, but this one's already matter of fact, let me pull it up here. And it's called, of course, you know, it's called Bedbug.
Hey, congratulations too. I see you got stacking up on all these credentials in that profession. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's the light one though. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you because that's the apprentice, and I'm not an apprentice. I'm a master, but I'm waiting for that official one. So y'all stay tuned. Another one coming, baby. And the price of milk just went up.
But right, you said if it sparked Kaja's interest, huh?
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, so this is the website right here. It's called bedbugheatkill.com. I know y'all like, what the hell is it? Because trust me, when people in the middle of the night, they're searching. How do I kill these bed bugs? And the first thing they run across is heat. So
he's the expert. So they think you're just a podcaster.
Let's see where this and I haven't even beefed up the SEO yet to where and I'm it's some other things that I'm gonna do, but let's see what we got. Let's see what this looks like.
You got Miss Jerry Davis in the building tonight. Cynthia McCormick, Sabrina Bryce Brisbane, and Miss Kathy. Anybody else in here? Miss Kathy Mars. We got upstate, PD area, Atlanta, Johnsonville, in the big city, Patrick.
You got anybody graduating here coming up?
Oh, hey, you know how it is. They all our kids, man. I'm hey, for some reason, there's something about this class, man, that feel closest to. I'm really excited about these kids going off to school and playing ball and, you know, furthering their education. You got Bryson Cannon that's signed with Francis and Marion to play baseball. You know, AJ. You know, these guys are heading off to
Averett.
Yeah. We're gonna get up there to these guys, man.
Oh yeah, I'm getting ready to start sending out for press passes here. Because yeah, that's what I'll be doing on Saturday mornings is on somebody's college campus. Yeah, I feel like this class, like I'm like them. I'm graduating too.
It's something about these guys, man. That you know, this class that we've been pretty close to. And just to watch them, you know, they grow up and now get an opportunity. We watched, you know, and first time I saw a lot of the kids in the drama class perform. What is the name of that play? Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka.
And never seen it before, but thoroughly enjoyed it at the high school, and just the talent, man. And the young man I think who played the Willy Wonka Bowl will be performing in Georgetown, I think, on Front Street here soon. Just very, very, very proud of the our students, our class, and so great shout out to all of the again teachers, because they, you know, teachers, principals, and all of them involved in these kids' lives, because They're going to go forward, man, and do some great things. Proud of that.
No doubt. So, but yeah, you see it right there, man. There goes some.
Well, that's a new site.
Yep, that's the new site right there. It is. I might add some more to it there.
It's pretty impressive there, Mr. Jamal.
There you go, guys. You can contact me right there. Drop a line. That was you know, I hate rats. That was all out of one. What was that? Yeah, that was all out of one. Those are mice. Let me see. Oh no, those are rats. Yeah, that's actually right there at behind Safe Rack over there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
work you
back
did
there.
some time ago.
Yep. 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 Put that together real fast there. I think it was about $100 for 3 years.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, this weekend are you gonna be able to make it out to I think you're gonna make it out to this
I think I am.
right?
Yeah, I think
Saturday?
I am.
Yep.
Yeah. Got some work to do out of town here next day or so, but I'll be back. It's close by, so it's not that far off. And I will tell you, man, the back to Congressman Clyburn, a lot of people pushing was, early on about is he old, is he? But I will tell you, I was at the NAACP banquet a few weeks ago, and to listen to this man speak and how vibrant and just smart, he's a historian, and how he can just help us understand how it was, where we are now, and then how murky things look right now. He needs to stick around. I mean, if you got it, you got it. And so, yeah, very impressed with.
I knew who wasn't impressed.
Who's that? Somebody wasn't.
Read the comment.
Something. Nobody. Look,
She said LeBron needs her undivided attention.
When I told her I'd talk to, I said, "Hey, I got a podcast. You all doing a podcast tonight, and the Lakers are playing? I could care less. I'm not a Laker fan right now until LeBron retires, and I'm coming back."
a Laker in recess, huh?
Yeah. I listen. Yeah, that should have never happened. So no, go watch some Lakers. I don't want to see those guys, man. Big shout out to my another young man I think is going to be great too, man. Riley Jordan, Chris Stewart, all I'm telling you, these guys, man, are like, you just got to watch them. You got to watch them grow and develop, man. And then they're going to get and be challenged by some of the, some other tough guys, and that's going to make them better.
Yeah,
so
I look forward to see them guys progress, and I look forward to making them road trips.
Yeah, you got to get up
and we still got Tonk down here at Georgia Southern. Got to go check him out.
Tonk looks pretty good for that next level. You just see that frame. I can see some Ocho in there, some T.O.
Yeah,
and that's the T.O.
That's the undeniable trait that he's got.
Yeah.
Can't coach that. I mean, the boy is a true 6'6".
But see, Tonk was a stand-up baseball player too. And you think about those skill sets that you have to focus in and catch an object at a very fast speed that's much smaller than a football. And now you're throwing the football at him, that's like beach ball. Now he's a talented kid. So
Yeah, his father off Privet Street. That's just that baseball. You start
That's
talking
what
about
it is.
baseball, that's Privet Street. Hey, I want to shout out my man Caden Dorsey. Caden is going to be attending the Coastal Carolina with his
Okay.
brother. Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
think that's
huge.
big. Yeah. Caden's quiet, but he is a high level academic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I want to shout him out. He,
It's
and he
gonna
played
be,
baseball. I think he did play baseball this year.
now, you know those guys are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I don't know how. I think they play tonight. I got to get to one of these games, but they're smoking. Shout out to Coach Poston. I think they've now, if I'm not mistaken, probably advanced a little bit further than they did last year. But again, great seasons back to back, and again, led by Mr. Poston out there that's taking these guys to the next level. When you get kids signing and going off to play college,
Winning matters.
it's a great reflection on the coaches, the team, and getting and you look at these kids now. If you start want to, you want to see how the pattern.
Parent involvement.
Look at parent involvement. Look at their education.
Yes.
All these kids we're talking about now. I mean, they're not just getting in school because they're outstanding athletes. A student thing comes first. So again, if anybody question, now I was told I'm not going to say anything, but one parent, we're pretty close to it. Is like, hey, mom is going to have a hard time when the son goes to school. She's already admitted she's not going to be well. So dad is asking everybody to pray for her.
No doubt.
That's her baby. I'm not going to call him. I'm not going to. But it was just funny listening to them talk about when this young man goes off to school, how it's going to. But hey, I don't care if the gas get up to $10 a gallon. I think she's going to travel.
Yeah.
She's going to be there.
And leave it to the damn orange man. We'll be there.
$10.
Yes, sir. And his damn followers right there. Hey, listen, this is the war on terror. This is necessary. We got to get rid of Iran. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
It sounds like there's room on the wagon.
Hey,
on the bandwagon.
See.
You know what? You have to know when
you'll see.
You gotta know when to get off board. You get off. You have to know when to get off.
Listen,
if the train slows up and it's headed to a cliff.
June 9th, you'll see. You'll see exactly what I've been telling you I've been seeing because the crew who he lying to with that America First bullshit that he sold us.
So you were bought in, or what?
Hey, man, listen. You can't tell me. Listen, hey, first of all, and Biden, it was weird. They was talking too much of that, too much homosexual, too much, social talk. You know what I mean? Like right now, the lady asking Jermaine Johnson about the girl, the damn gas $4.19 a damn gallon. Nobody don't care about them damn issues right now. You know what I mean? Like when we doing good, when the gas get down about $1.87, then we can start talking about all that kind of foolishness.
Social issues, yeah.
Social issues. But right now, no, we ain't got time for that. And so yeah. And I mean, and that's what ran me away from them, the social issues. And I think that's, I don't know, man. I don't know. We can't run a country with soft ass men, man. I mean, that's just ain't no way around it. You know what I mean? We need some toxic masculinity. You know what I mean? We need a little bit of that around.
You know when to turn it on and turn it off, because it's necessary in some.
It kept me off the ADD medicine.
She was allowed to express yourself.
That dude, no problems. Oh, he listening, no problem. 24 hours later, this is a new. Wow, Mr. Richardson, what happened?
Hey, they know how to get our attention back in the day.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I gotta get myself ready for some work off site tomorrow. So this is good. I appreciate everybody checking in, your comments, and let's just keep trying to move this thing, man, in a positive direction, across the board. And always remember that it's about the kids, community, and that kind of business. I think we'll be okay if we can focus on that. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right, y'all. Good night.
Get ready, Andrews. The Andrews Heritage Festival is coming October 31st. A day filled with community, culture, and celebration is on the way. Big energy, great people, and unforgettable moments. Save the date now and get ready.